Yamwakwa baba PCG TV so medin edi Kofi Late mena medi akankase ho chiame ede emawo yeje ebre na yetie akankase no mu encheche mu ana eye kase a ekooso na wotwe no mu nyina ene yabo ne tofa ene yede ebre wo na wotwe awieye mu yeje ebre na yetie akankase no mu encheche mu ankasa. Reverend Dr. Johnson Imbela eye kwantra for abedi echira ohwe echire any Dean of Continuing Education ewo Akrofi Christella Institute na ono akroya esan ye kwantra for penny Emma Center for Interfaith Studies and Engagement in Africa yetwa ne tia efreno Caesar na ode afutuo Emma ekristofo ene enkremofo se wonhwe entwe wo ho emfi amanyosem titru ene se ye kwa akoto afi aba 2024 no ye kwa akoto no se ye mfe ye ho enhyehye amanyosem na ehu pa na Bra oni PCG TV News Patience na ode AD enkomo ewo 15th Annual Interfaith Symposium no ase no Dr. Imbela echreni semu eka se yenimu hu a eye anka ye betwe ye ho efri amanyosem titru ene ekristofo se yede ye ho ewurawura mu bare no ka ebejai na ode afutuo ene kokobo esan ema se yemfa osom enwurawura amanyosem se eba no sa ebetumi ede basabasa ye empo aba ene entitimu aba oman mu osan echre se yempre kroye ene asumdwe chense ede basabasayo ebeba asumdwe mu na dwumadie yi ekoso ewo Gan Presbytery Officer ewo Osu na eye Gan Presbytery ene Caesar ene kan wo hu ebo mu edi sa dwumadie yi Dr. Imbela esan ede afoto ema se esese ye pre kroye ene ekanko ene impuntu na emum enye se yede osom ebeye amanyosem ede apre ahunyade.
What I would say to Ghanaians is that it is an election very important and of essence. So what Ghanaians need to do is to ensure that on the problem of this, what we call the politicization of religion and religionization of politics, it must stop. It really has to stop. And the reason is that if we are not careful, we are going to create religious tribalism and religious ethnicism. And so Ghanaians have to take note of that. And politicians themselves have to stop dividing the country by saying vote for a Christian or vote for a Muslim. We have to think about vote for a Ghanaian that has a policy that will develop all Ghanaians.
Na okasa no ena ode eyenia ekoso ewo boko na nsan entem ede ye emfanto ho sese yanhwe ye hu yi a sei ene betumi ato omanmu ni nyina.
On this Boku issue that you have raised, the Boku issue is not an issue. It has been stimulated by politicians before the political realm came into this thing. There wasn't the disaster that we are facing in Boku at the moment. So what politicians need to do is recognize the true, this is how I will put it, who are the true chiefs of Boku? Why do they have to go and install another chief and bring the chief to Boku? These are the things that have caused a lot of problems. And I hate to be partial here, but to be very, very objective and say that the politicization of the Boku issue must cease.
Ewo ensem kroye mono abra PCG TV Patience na odi ene Reverend Dr. Imbela AD enkomono odi afutu ema asofo se wo ma wo ho kwan ema Paul Peter wogina so eka awrade asem no ye mfa nye amanyosem.
That is totally wrong. The pulpit is a pulpit that you climb up to speak the word of God, not to get into politics. If you are a reverend minister that I am, and a politician comes in and say, I want to use your pulpit to propagate my political agenda, the answer is simply no, not at all. And this, I hope my fellow reverend ministers and people of religion will take note of that. You know why? In the church is made up of people of religion, people of different political affiliation. When you bring a politician in to come and campaign, what you have done is you've made the church a political forum and have already selected that that is the political party you as a church is going for.
Na bra one ne guso kasa no a na obisa no se ensemtwefo ene afoforo pi na ka se asese die asofo kra no amanyofo na etua wonka enti bibi koso ewo oman mu a won pese wobeka ho asem na ochire ne nsem sei de kire ensemtwefo.
You know what? I think that what comes out very clearly, and with the Christian Council, I try to do some things there as someone who advises them on interreligious relations that they have asked me to do that. I think that what comes up, from what I understand from the Christian Council, they speak. The authority, the only difficulty that comes is that it doesn't come in the open. And that's what the leadership of the Christian Council have to think about. Because the silence is such that people would say they are not talking. I tell you, they are talking. They are talking, but they are not bringing it into the public to create more confusion.
Most Reverend Professor Emmanuel K. Asante na oye kane Methodist Bishop ewo Ghana ha ono akroya na no osan eye Jomtreni Ema National Peace Council na ode afutu ede ama Ghana emebru se wompre asomdwei ene kroye ewo oman mutitu ene se ye kwakoto abano na abra oguso kasa no na ode afutu ema ono ka kire emebru no ese yen ena yeye Ghana dachi osan kire ne nsemu ka se yema yeni enaho na yema ye ho kwan ema amanyofo emfa yen enye dia wope esanse yeye Ghana dachi entino Reverend Professor K. Asante ka se yempre asomdwe da na eno na ebeboa ama enchirima nso ehunu ne se ampa oman no sesa ye no eye emmebunu a ewo ho enne na epre esesa ye
emmebunu asema ya na metaka kire mebunu ne se ye taka kire mo se the future is yours nyeza ne yeka na ochina enne nebe wo china so what I say if you nene yakochina say wo say na ochina bi any ho if you destroy today you have no tomorrow enti mabunu mesremo yenya yenyinyini wo hwe Ghana omo ebonto anofa majority yenyinyini we are in their 60s nomne manema Ubi any ho besenya 60 years ni bia baka ni mfie ho anaso we 70 obenya bia baka ho na modie ye modia enti mumfa ahobrase mumamo adwiri mu na ho wo mo aman yosem obi ba no obehye se kokoye bibi anya wo mo ata ma oyeye sa ne ma ne wo mo manka ho unta hu so wo mo ba bi eka ho da ade se ya ade no de ne banka ho bi munye aman yosem banyene de basabasaye ebeba.
Dr. Victor Caesar asafoba ewo Salvation Congregation na apomodin abedwoko ya wate ewo ho no oka ho bi na ode afutuo ma asafoma no na oka se bronya eda enim yenhwe se eye Ghana aduane a yedua no eno na esese yedie na eno na ahoden ewo mu na se ye pre ehwehwe eno akiri kwan edia ebeboa yen ma yenya ahoden ode afutuo ma se yenni aduane bi etese boode bayire beans ene ne ayen ankasa yedua no na osan eto aso eka se yedi sa enuane no na yede boa Ghana akuafo ema wonso wanya sika ama Ghana nso anya sika na yetumi etumpon ewo yen sika sem.
So I must say that luckily most Ghanaian foods that we eat, they are healthy. All right, a few things they are healthy, so we advise that yes, you eat our locally based food, which are very healthy. Of course, I tell people that yes, eat in moderation. So if you are eating fufu, yes, you can eat your fufu, but look at the quantity. Very important. So we take something small with your soup, which are healthy. And of course, we advise that we avoid the oily foodstuff, high salt intake, and of course the sugar. And then, as part of the healthy eating, we should add to our food some fruits and vegetables. Very important. And we have them in abundance. The contomere, the turkey berry, which you call cantoses and all that. They are very healthy. The greens should be part of our life. But look, generally, our food that we eat, they are very healthy. And we should eat in moderation. That's the thing.
Wabasrefo enhyehyeye mu no emfie nan bia na yepa yempanimfo na YPG eye emmabunuko a ewo Love Congregation enso wopa wompanimfo emfie nan na wondwumadie enyina abawie ya wapa empanimfo fofora emfie nan ya eda ye enimi tu wode wa adwuma ehye wonsa ama wato adwuma no eso na adwumadie no ekoso no woni awie won adwuma no ede woni a eba no adwuma ehye wonsa na abra empanimfo a wobehye adwuma foforo ase no wode won adwuma ehye wonsa no sei ena YPG president a yedi na adwuma foforo ehye ne nsa no eni mpanimfo aka no wano de semo a wode to edwa enie.
We'll always be present to support. Whenever you call upon us, we'll be there, we'll be ready, we'll be available. We are always available 24/7, so you can call on us any day, anytime, when we respond.
So I took over the reins of YPG in October 2021, and today being the third year of my reign, I'm handing over. We're able to mobilize the youth. Taking over the YPG reigns, we realized that the youth were having some apathy towards coming for meetings and other things. We're able to implement certain things that we're able to mobilize them and bring them together as a youth for us to worship together. And I can say, leaving the office as the president, I can say boldly that now we have a united front, and our new executives will have it easier and also be able to work well.
Owura Ire Charity ya otu a ono ena national president a oda Basra asofo Aaron mu ekuo enyina ano edi ma ne nyina enim ema wode achede ahodo pa esombo kese pa eko eye emofraboni school mu ekoche wom na wasan ede afutuo ema emofrai enyina se wonhwe se wo be free hanom no na wonsu ene wonban asesan na watimi aba bebo brapa ede aboa oman Ghana. Owura Ire otu esan eka se enya ade a we ebeso hwa na wowie no one won eche Awurade asem ebo mpaye ema won esan ede enumaboten no enyina ede ma won ehye won bose wode Awurade Yesu Kristo do ene ne humobro ena ede ehye won den se eye de enya wonimu se wobeba abonten na emom wo ba no fasubanpa emfredi emra embeboa omanfo
se a Christopher emma ye beba beye adoya ma ye mankuma a omo senior correctional center ye di Awurade asem ama won na afi so ya hwese ne omo apomu te eno anti na ye wo ha no kwasem ni ye wo activities a ya line up bebre na we ni nia edikan a ye pese ye beye afi mu esan se ye hu se ye mankuman ye dwen won ho ye bia ye bo mpai ma won na enya mpai bo nko Awurade asem wo Matthew 25:39 say I was sick and in prison, but you did not visit me. It in event of this, no, and until I say, Sir Christopher ma, say yeba, na yebe show your love to these children. Then also be who say, one man menom, I Minister Spouses Conference of Presbyterian Church of Ghana, ye do won, na ye bomb pie ma won. We so can yang moderators agenda 2 million ho. Ye ba ye no abeche Awurade asem ebi mu di won ho ama Awurade we nyina boa yen na yetumi propagate the gospel to the vulnerables in the society. Okwan fa so nya yen sika no ye individual donations, spouses ye presbyteries boa yen, individuals asafo man nyina boa yen na kra so ye luncheon so ye nya sika wo ho because eno ne ye important ye nya sika fi ho ye de be yes adoye.
Superintendent Wilfred Anan ono ena eye enwomoto a ewo emofraboni school a ewo Rage no kane no ne yefre no Bosta Institute no na eda won ano asoye ehye Ghana Prison Service ase abra one presby asofo yirenom enkabom ko ekasa no ena oka se dia waye wonani eso nanso ema won ema no enso hwa ebra no bra no wonhwe se wobeba na emom no wonhwe se wobema won osofo baako a abre bia no one emofra no ebeba beye asori abompaye na one won akasa etu wonfo na wasesa wonsu ene wonban empo ebedu bra esese wo fredi ebafie no na obia asakra ode subampa ena ode ebafie.
It's supposed to be semi-autonomous anyway, but the funding and everything is supposed to come from government. And you look at the chunk of expenditure when it comes to it, government alone cannot manage it. So it becomes very important that we get other stakeholders coming on board to support us. And their feeding, we feed them with one CD 80 pesos, just like the adult prisons. We feed them 1 CD 80 pesos, which is woefully inadequate. There are many other things that we may need for the various shops. The materials to train them in leather works, materials to train them in beads, material to train them in carpentry and all that. These are things that are supposed to come from the government, but the support, government is doing its best. So we need stakeholder participation in such things, even to the extent of a group, an individual coming to adopt a particular shop.
Na no see no na owuraire charity ya otu enso ede etu dwase won botaye esi weni so a wode ba ho ene se woni emofra no ebeche awurade asem abompaye na wasan ede enduane ahodo yi asan ede ama won nanso senia waka no wagye atum woni mpanifo ebedi hu enkomo na wahwede a obetumi aye ede afa ho na wape osofo baako a obeda emofra no ano na wone won abeche awurade asem abrebia. Superintendent Wilfred Anan Esan Eka say senia na anka woye no ebrebi no asede asese no eye akyede pe ene ya wota edebre wo mu nanso ose osan esisudua say wo hia osofo emapa ewo empatem ho na one emofra no ache Awurade asem.
I see a very trim da. Say something we picked up to do. Along the line we left it. And as I say other things, we are pursuing other things. Other than one of the greatest assignments, I must say Christopher.
Waye osum dwumadie kra ede Dr. Enchibu Osuako adwuma ahyenensa se Asante Presbytery lay rep na dwumadie yi waye wo General Assembly Council ewo 17th November 2024 ewo Peye Memorial Congregation ewo Kumasi na ansana wode na adwuma ebehye nensa no na owuraire Betty Asare Entwidua ono na eye Presbytery lay rep na dwumadie no ase no enipa akukudam bebre na eba dwumadie yi ase bi na waye osom adwuma no edema no na osofa wode Awurade asem ebaye eye Reverend Samuel Ehima Yeboa ono na eye Asante Presbytery chairperson na otu Dr. Enchibu Osuako efo eka se adwuma wode ehye nensa no onhwe se eye agenda 2 million na basrefo ede esi we ni so se wo pre akoho no obebo ho modern amano abam ewo ne penso ye tufa akọ eye framantem kroba akwan ye frɛ ho kpasa ekwan wa pɛ yie na eye Emmanuel Congregation asafo a ehye Volta Presbytery ase ede soso abofom a wo be hye ase kra esi asofofie se be ya ye de osofo bi ekɔ a obetumi enya baabi atrama na somo adwono atumi aye Awurade adwuma ni yie manaso Awurade eni na adwumadie yi ase no na Reverend Felix Akresu enim danso a oye chairperson Emma Volta Presbytery ewo hobi na oka se ampa konkomafo a ewo ho ona ayade pa nti obo na baso eka se won na wo boa ama eye asofofie yatumi esi na Reverend danso esan eka se dwumadie yi a wo yi ebeboa pa ama eye sikasem ho hawa eda asafo no so no atumi abafom efrise abribia no agese wokope besia ebehan dan edema osofo etrem na se wotimi esi asofofo ni wi a saa ohawo yi nyina eto ebetwa na dwumadie yi ase no Reverend George Kosa ono na oda Emmanuel asafo no ano ekire nani so ede kire mpanifo a ono won esom eka se won aboa no pa na won momoden enso se wobeboa ameyatumi esi asafofie ni awie osan stress e won ye wonsam ewo bi nso no won hwe se wobetumi aba beboa na yatumi esi asafofie no awie na wo wi a ebeboa asafo no ene obia oboaye na Awurade Nyankopɔn so ebehira obia. Okanaja Krom District ehye Volta Presbytery ase no aye asempatro adwumadie efri November 15th ekosi 17th ewo Atonko na wo stresse ye kwa akoto aba ne yempre asomdwei se ebeya ede pepepe ye enso ebeba ne yeto aba ne wia ye ho atumi ahayen na abra Reverend John Tewia Yohunu a oye district minister enya akwan na ode na no desem etu edwa no eka se basre for de ye pe asomdwei enti ye hwe se ye kwa akoto aba no se ye guso to na yato ewie no ye bepre asomdwe na ewia obia enkofie enkotrase na ontie ne radio na eno ene ade a ebeboaye na ye na Awurade Yesu Kristo no ayedi nachi no oye asomdwe hen enti ye hwe se basabasa ye bia emma na ebeba mpa enye yen yeso na ebeba nanso opre ebompa ye se bibia sa emma na eba eya eye mofra ene ema titru ena wota eka adwemu na ɔse yehu nia ɛda yɛnimu a ɛba na se yehu nia ɛda yɛnimu a ɛba anka ɛnyɛ ɛne sɛ yɛpre bebrebe yi anka yɛbɛbɔ mpaye asrɛ otwedi ampɔn sɛ ɔma asomdwe emra. Ewo Reverend Yohonu ekasemu no ɔka sɛ yenye krado ɛma yɛ nagye nkwa no ba obesan ababio no na oguso ekasa no ɔfa nasɛm efre Marko asɛmpa no eti dumiensa nchichimu baako ekosi enwɔtwe no na ɛno ɛna ɔde ɛkyerɛkyerɛ ne nsɛm mu ɛka sɛ Kristofo deɛ yɛbɛtumi aya ne sɛ yɛbɛpre asomdwe na Awurade Yesu Kristo no ankasa no ɛsan sɛ ɔyɛ asomdwe hene enti no ɔbaayɛ no wamɛyɛ basabasa. Weni ni mpre ni so a Pilga aye akansi enhyehyeye a wode ehwe school for emodembo ewo adesuam ene kwane a obefa so asiesie wo ho akwakotro won sohwe na ni mpre ni so yi ekoso ewo Ebenezer Presbyterian Church Hall a ewo Osu na wose wo yewei ede ahwe emofra no emoden ebo schools a ebehia mu ewo akansi na se ebi eye Emmanuel Presbyterian Preparatory School, Michael Moninga Presbyterian Junior High School, Covenant Presbyterian Preparatory School na akansi no ekɔ na wieye no de odi mu nkunim eye Emmanuel Presbyterian Preparatory School ewo Dansoman woni etoso mienu eye Michael Moninga Presbyterian Junior High School ni woni etoso miensa eye Covenant Presbyterian Preparatory School na dwumadie no ase no school for eba ase no bi nso eye Old Ningo Presbyterian Basic School, Calvary Presbyterian Basic School, Ashoman Presbyterian Basic School ena Teshi Salem Presbyterian School na woni a edi mu nkunim no enya abasobodie bi etese tablet, certificate, school bags, books, ene enyoma ahodo pi na school a wodi enkunim no abasobode a wonyaaye eye projector wode ebesua ade ewo sa ensemfoforo yi mu a akansie ya ekoso ewo Osu Ebenezer Church Hall a eye Pilga akansie wo hyehyeye no Eugene Laye eye Regional Manager of Presbyterian Schools ewo Greater Accra Region na oka se yehwe akansie ya ekoso a enye se wo hyehye keke se wo de hwe emofra no modembo keke ene bia waben ewo adesua mu na emom wo de wei so won ahwe se wo betumi aka wo ho abom aye ejuma brane na etumi aboa won ewo na adesua mu na wo hwe kwan so a senia wosi adwen ekọ echi ene bia waben enso na basri asafo no ode abasobode ema won se ampower yade se wetumi aye enhyehyeye a etese yie owura Laye ekoso ekyere ne nsemu eka se yekoso a eye dwumadi a etese yie betumi aboa emofra no ewo na adesua mu na emum enye se wo boabo wano ekeke ahwe bia waben sedia odi kan ekaye no na emum sene wo betumi edi innidie enso edi dwuma ene wo wie na watumi abeboa ama amamu enso akoso.
Presbyterian Education Unit Greater Accra instituted this Pilga quiz competition last year, and this was after we had visited a number of schools and we came to the realization that performance in our schools is not as expected, especially when it comes to the core subjects. We also realized that some of our students lack self-confidence, and which was impacting negatively on their ability to perform. Then we comparing our schools today with Presbyterian schools in the past, we realized that students in our schools these days do not really know the Presbyterian Church as they should. And so we decided to put together a program that would enable students improve learning outcomes in the core subjects, especially English, mathematics, and science, as well as knowledge about the Presbyterian Church and its values that it stands for. We expect that as a result of this competition, learning outcomes will improve in our schools in terms of English, mathematics, and science. We also expect that the children who pass through Presbyterian schools would be imbibed with the core values of the church, and for which reason, and for that matter, become more disciplined, more hardworking, have humble attitude, and generally become better products, a better reflection of the church that has set up those schools.
Dwumadie kroya se a eye Pilga ehyehyeye no na owura yere Rebecca Obobisa Daako a ofi eye Ga East Municipal Education Directorate ono ena eye anamusini edema wo na odwumadie na se bi ode abasobode kese pa ema eye Pilga se wotimi ehyehyeye akansi a eteseyie na abra oni PCG Centroni Rene Osibo ekasa no ekyerekye ensemu eka se wei ebeboa ama emofra no adesua atumi akwa animu pa titiu ene de abasre adesua atanaye no eguso a ɔyɛ no owura yire daako de abasobɔde kɛseɛ pa ɛma ɛyɛ piga ɛne presbyfoɔ sɛ wayɛ ade sɛ wɔde akansi a ɛte sɛ ɛhyehyɛ so na wei ɛbɛboa de nkabom mapan aba schoolfoɔ no emu sɛ titiw sɛ wɔka wɔn ho abom asua adeɛ na ɛbɛboa ama wɔde nhyehyɛ pa nso atumi agu akwan mu sɛ wɔnyi a ba bɛyɛ mpanimpa.
Yɛbɛka sɛ Presbyterian Church of Ghana ayɛ ade bebree. Yɛhwɛ Ghana schools a Presbyterian schools dɔɔso paa. Sɛ woba Ga East Municipal Education Directorate, yɛn Presbyterian schools ɛdɔɔso sen mɛka sɛ mission schools a ɛwɔ hɔ no nyinara. Ɛno nti yɛhyɛ Presbyterian Education Unit Nkran sɛ program yi a wɔde aba yi wɔn kɔ so wɔnyae da na yɛbɔ mpae srɛ sɛ sponsors a wɔbɛboa na program yi akɔ n'anim no nso wɔn boa na program yi daa ne daa afe biara no atumi akɔ so na aboa yɛn mmɔfra yi na daakye wɔabɛyɛ mpanimfoɔ a yɛatetew wɔn ama Ghana ne Presbyterian Church nyinara.
Ɛyɛ piga quiz akansi a ɛkɔɔ so a wei ɛne ne mpire no so no owura Daniel yɛbɔ hienu a ɔyɛ general manager of Presbyterian schools ɛde to dwa sɛ ɛnyɛ sɛ wɔsi akan bi kɛkɛ na mmom wɔde boa sɛ ne yɛbɛyɛ ɛyɛ baasrefoɔ mmɔfra betumi asua adeɛ tumi akɔ w'anim. Ɔsi piga akansi yi ɛnyɛ sɛ ɛyɛ akansi bi kɛkɛ na mmom sɛ ɛbɛyɛ a mmɔfra no betumi asua adeɛ no wɔhu ne ehia na watumi ɛnyɛ gyidie nso mapa ɛwɔ yɛn Awurade Yesu Kristo mu. Na abra ɔde nano de sɛm ɛto edwa no ɔse wei ɛbɛboa mmɔfra no daakye paa na ɛno anso betumi asan aboa ɔman Ghana na etumi aboa ɛma mmɔfra no aka wɔn ho abom asua adeɛ.
It's an opportunity for us to engage some students who are champions of their various zones to contest and then get the champions of the champions. And I'm so happy that this is another opportunity for us to test the various creativity, collaboration, the kind of insights, full knowledge children are sharing with us. And to me, I would say a big thank you to the regional manager of Presbyterian schools for ensuring that such a program is organized. Because to us, as a church, education has been a niche for us. So when we meet students of this nature, we continuously assess some of the observations we make, and then from there, we see how best we can engage students, the teachers, and other stakeholders to see how best we can support growth and development of our schools.
Osan ekyere eniso ekyere se ampa yehwe sɛnea basrefo ɛbɔ wɔn ho mmɔden na wɔboa ɛma mmɔfra no anya suahu mapa ɛwɔ suahuma mu ɛne twerɛ kronkron mu na ɔse wei anya ade a wɔde esi hɔ a na wɔbɛsan atoa so.
When you look at what happened, we would continue to collaborate with them to see how best we'll be able to help the schools, help the teachers, to help the students as well, to ensure that at least some observation. A typical example is that when it got to the area of problem of the day, we realized that anything that hinge on the creativity and collaboration, the children were not so good at it. And fortunately enough, I didn't know who observed this anyway, but fortunately enough, we are still collaborating with them to even organize a session for all the mathematics teachers that are the basic school to ensure that some of these observations will be able to deal with it. Because we realize that schools are still, we still have some schools that are still dealing with what we term show and tell, or probably follow my procedure to address the problems that the students are engaging in their respective schools. So we do all we can to collaborate with them to ensure that we help enhance quality education in our schools, and for that matter, contribute meaningfully to the development of our nation.
Sa ensem foforo ye mu no na owura yebo hienu a oye general manager of Presbyterian schools na awofo ne bi ka se emofra no ewie JHS a ye basrefo secondary school no emofra no enta enya kwan na o kyerɛkyerɛ ensemu de akyerɛ awofo no se ye ka se adesua pa de a ade a ejina brane a ede ne ho enti wontu emofra no fo se wonyere wo ho ensua de na eba se placement no se wo ya wobetumi enya basrefo school ne bi akọ enti yen hye emofra no nkran ma wo nsua de enko w'anim na eba ne se placement no wo ya watumi enya basrefo school ne bi akọ.
When you say it's quite difficult getting placement in our schools, it's a bit difficult. Placements are done based upon merits. So if the students are learning, or we have anything to do to support them to learn, let us do that. Because I realize that whoever comes to our decks with good grades, we are still able to help the people get admissions. We're still able to help the people get admission. But now my personal worry is when the grades are high, I don't see why I should be able to continuously pushing for this. If parents and guardians can put pressure on us at the office, it's our school, then they should rather put pressure on the children to rather sit on their buttocks and learn. And I believe that this is done. Placement is always on merit. Placement is always on merit. Because I cannot foresee someone getting 42. Okay, and you expect that because the school was established by the church. Yes, I appreciate that, because those days that were established in our schools, it is contribution from parents, from the church members that were pulled together to build the schools. So yes, grandchildren today will say that it was our grandparents, our fathers. Fine, it's okay. I don't have any problem with it. But let us learn, because the more the grades are so high and want to push our schools, the more we lower the standards. And I will not sit for my time for the standard to be lowered. So if we want to support them, then they should learn. And when they come, we'll see what we can do to help them.
Achimabokwa Presbytery no abo scholarship fotuo bi a wode beboa adesua ewo Presbytery no emu na dwumadie no ase no na Reverend Professor Seth Asare Danso a oye Presbytery chairperson ewo dwumadie no ase na okasa ede etu asafoma no efo no ofa nasem efre Micah chapter 6 verse 8 ena ochirechiremu se oma ewo hoyi eho ewo emfaso bebre na Awurade ehirawo enso na okasa de etu omofo no ena wode wokunani no a ofini hia mu nyina eyi dia wo ede boa onyankopon adwuma na Awurade ehira no bebre no na se ebeye na foto no ebegina na yatumi aboa emofra a wo empatemu ho titiu ene wone a wopese wo to awade sua so enti no Reverend Professor Danso ene na busua eyi wo mbotom sika cedi empim aduonum 20,000 Ghana cedis ede share foto na se eka ase wei ebeboa pa ama ahye afofra wopese wo boa dwumadie no so enkran na bra wo pa ho entoma no empanifo atitu pi ewo Presbytery ni mu ena wode wani monyam ebeta dwumadie no echi osi wei ebeboa ema emofra wawie school a wopese wo to awade sua so no ebetumi aboa won ema watumi ato awade sua so na enye emofra no enko na emum woni a wopese wokoje entete ewo asofodie mu ene akatekesfo enyina ebeboa won ema etumi aso wo mu ama won akọ Amanboyi eye Victoria Lano ena eboaboa amanboyi ano ede ebrayen ono ena one amansan edi enkuta ho ewo achem ebuakwa Presbytery obroni ebeka say public relation officer eha ena ebre eba me yekwan na yede akankase a yede ebrem no nyina ebesi meeting ede Kofi Latte yakramo